It was quite extraordinary. I don't really understand it, but it feels like such a blessing, and we had so much fun, and it landed on my
All
head.
right. Well, you are obviously communicating with that aspect of nature. What does that symbolize to you in terms of coming in that form? What do birds symbolize to you?
Joy, freedom.
All right. And so it is a synchronistic symbol and sign that at the moment that happens, you're in the proper state of your true self. All you have to do is allow yourself to remember that experience, and you will be in that state again wherever you are. Coming from that state is what is natural for you to express yourself as nature. Remember, you're not in nature, you are nature. So when another aspect of nature presents itself to you in that way, it's a reminder and a reflection of your own true nature, so that you can know how important it is to be in the state that is created when you have that experience, and therefore giving you more practice to recognize and familiarize yourself with that state and come from that state in everything that you do. Yes?
That's beautiful.
Yes.
So I feel like I'm on the brink of something really big with manifestation, and this is totally my high of excitement to be with you here now. And
Right.
Neville Goddard talks about being able to create through imagination, and imagination being more real than this
In a
reality.
sense. Well, in a sense, because imagination is the conduit of communication between your physical and higher mind. It is also its own portal of probability. Now, not everything you imagine is necessarily relevant for you at any given moment, but it does present you with the probabilities for reflection, for comparison, for contrast, so that you can use your imagination to guide yourself in the direction that is appropriate for you, in the theme that you are exploring as this particular aspect that you chose to be of all that is. So yes, imagination is very important, and in a sense more real in that it contains more awareness of reality, all different levels and dimensions of reality, whereas physical reality is just a slice, and an illusionary one at that.
So is focus the action? I mean, for him, he was...
Action is the action, which automatically focuses you. Because if you're doing what you love to do, if you're following your passion, you automatically focus.
Wow.
All these things happen automatically. All the mechanisms are there automatically. That's why we give you that formula. That's when you act on your passion to the best you can, taking it as far as you can till you can take it no further in that direction or in that way. And you do this with absolutely zero insistence, zero assumption as to what the outcome is supposed to look like. And you remain in a positive state no matter what happens, so you can extract the benefit from whatever happens. You are following the formula that is specifically designed as an instruction manual to allow you to maximize whatever focus you need, whatever synchronicity you need, whatever driving force you need, whatever path you need, whatever reflections you need, whatever support you need. All are contained within the idea of acting on your passion, because it's a holistic system. It doesn't have to be broken down into its components. It comes whole, it brings all the tools with it, and focus is one of them automatically, because if you're acting on your passion, you would simply rather be doing nothing else.
I see.
Therefore, the focus is built in.
I truly love that. Thank you
Yes.
for that. And one last thing, I got married to the love of my life yesterday. I attracted her. It's been an amazing experience, and she has parents. Thank you very much. She has parents that are her mother practices Hinduism, her father too, and they have these cadre of deities,
Yes.
Krishna and
Yes.
Were they ETs?
Well, some of them are representative of ancient extraterrestrial beings, but some of them are simply archetypal representations of portions of the collective consciousness of your entire planet. Do you understand what we're saying?
Could you clarify a little bit more?
You understand that there is such a thing as a collective consciousness of your world, yes?
I do. Mm-hmm.
And it can be, in some sense, broken down into certain groupings that have certain characteristics, certain energies, certain frequencies that can represent different groups upon your planet in terms of their belief systems, their perspectives, their themes of exploration. You usually call these archetypal constructs of consciousness. Now, they are autonomous and self-aware in and of themselves and can manifest in certain ways at certain times for certain purposes and reasons. But the idea is that sometimes ancient extraterrestrials might have represented some of these energies that are ensconced in your archetypal field of consciousness, and so there was an equation made between them. So sometimes they are representative of ancient extraterrestrials, and sometimes they are just representative of the archetypal level of the collective consciousness of your people. Does that make more sense?
It does. Well, there's specifics like Ganesh and
Yes.
and Krishna being blue and
Yes. And sometimes, again, this is a mix of things.
I see.
Some of the ancient Anunnaki did have slightly blue-tinged skin, as did some of the ancient Lemurians, who weren't that far removed from them genetically. So the idea is that sometimes certain aspects of these extraterrestrials might be blended in with other things in sort of a fuzzy memory of what that all represents energetically, experientially. And so you have kind of a mixed bag of things in your present day due to certain misunderstandings or misinterpretations or things that are necessary for someone to relate to with a certain belief system. They're not always literal. Sometimes they are representative to some degree, or there might be a nugget of truth or reality within them, but they still serve a purpose of representing a certain kind of frequency, a certain kind of energy that works with certain kinds of belief systems and themes of exploration.
Beautiful.
Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Well, you're so welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Bashar.
And are you good day?
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you as well. It is our pleasure and our passion.
Thank you. My first question is, in terms of where we are in our evolution as humanity,
Yes.
are we capable of experiencing the consciousness that we call unconditional love,
Of course you are.
despite the density of our bodies in this?
There is always a version of unconditional love for every level. You may not experience it exactly the same as someone in another dimension, a spirit realm, so on and so forth, but absolutely you have the ability to experience it in a way that's appropriate for the level that you're on.
It has its limitations, you would say?
But limitations are not always necessarily a negative thing. Again, it is simply the parameters that define the experience you chose to have, and therefore there is a relevant way to experience unconditional love on the level you chose to be on, in the experience you chose to have. So it's not about the idea of the limitations limiting it per se. You will experience it perhaps differently on a different level, but it is not limited in the way you need to experience it as a physical being.
I see.
Does that help?
It does help, thank you.
Yes.
I have another question regarding what brings me joy. One of the things that brings me the most joy is dance.
Oh, all right. Are you
And
dancing
I
in
can
life?
dance, yes, I can dance up to 7 hours
Oh, all right.
at a time.
Sounds exciting.
Yes, it brings me so much joy that
Yes.
sometimes I find myself in a state of semi-conscious trance,
Yes.
and I cannot stop.
Well, you can. It's just that you don't choose to.
It is this feeling that something takes over.
Well, it's your greater self. When you get into that state, you're more aligned with your higher mind. You're experiencing less difference, less sense of separation, and therefore you're experiencing more of your greater self.
Does it serve a purpose towards the collective?
Of course.
In terms of the energy that is
Of
generated?
course, because you're acting as an example that gives off a certain frequency. If others are exposed to it, then they can decide for themselves whether or not to align with that frequency and allow themselves to experience more of their greater selves too. So of course, anytime you act on your passion, anytime you allow yourself to give off the frequency of alignment, it certainly acts to the benefit of others who are willing to match that frequency in their own way. You act as a living example of joy.
Thank you. My last question is this.
Your last question forever?
No. I could ask more, but
I'm having some fun with you.
yeah, I like it. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm a being who, in this lifetime, has chosen to. I live in Sedona currently, and I'm a shamanic practitioner, what you would say.
Yes.
And I go into this conscious state of trance in which I seem to pull from all these modalities.
Yes.
And I'm conscious. It's like Caroline, the individual, takes a step back.
I understand.
And allows for these modalities to unfold.
Yes.
And I have no conscious knowledge what the heck I'm doing. And then I have to go online and look up what.
That's okay. If that's your way.
It's okay. I find comfort in it now. But what's beginning to happen is I'm beginning to speak in a dialect I do not understand.
That's okay too.
That's okay. My question is, what purpose does it serve? I'm curious.
Well, you'll find out, won't you? If you keep going. If you're willing to keep going, you will see how it serves.
It's been unfolding for years on its own, so I really trust.
Yes, it's not about the time, it's about the timing. So just keep moving forward, doing what excites you. You will see how it serves you and serves others in time.
Are these modalities that I'm pulling from coming from all of my higher selves, from different...
A variety of places. Who cares, as long as it serves?
Right.
It's not about the idea of having to focus on where it's coming from. It's about the idea of how are you using it? How are you expressing it? How are you applying it in your reality?
Do you have any message for me regarding my...
I gave you the message. Keep going. See where you wind up. See what happens. Life is an adventure. Let synchronicity guide you. It will always bring you the circumstances and opportunities and pathways that you need to walk on. You know this already. I'm not telling you anything new.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Remember, the process is the point. There is nowhere more important to get to other than where you are at any given moment. The process is the point. As many people on your planet have said, the journey is the destination. There is nowhere more important to be than here and now with what's happening. Because you understand it's not about what's happening, it's about what you do with what's happening that matters. Yes?
Yes.
Is this helping?
Yes.
So relax into the process. The process is the point. The process is where you discover more of who you are. Yes?
Yes. Thank you.
Is this helping?
Yes.
All right.
So much. Thank you.
You're welcome.